I love about my relationship with Christian, we have respect for each other. Granted, we're gonna disagree about things, but the way you speak to someone, it's everlasting.
People always say you never really know the person you fall in love with until life tests you in ways you never imagined. And for Jennifer Williams, that test didn't arrive quietly. It walked into a courtroom wearing a suit, hiding behind years of secrets, and turned her entire world into a headline she never wanted. Cameras were rolling, reporters were waiting, and the truth, messy, painful, and sharp enough to cut, was about to fall right in the middle of her life.
I'm a reality person, and you have to tell your truth because people see right through it. And unfortunately, I've been in some bad relationships. I've been in some good ones too, but I just think it's important to just share your story because you never know who you're affecting or how someone else can learn from you.
What started as a fairy tale love story ended with a judge's voice echoing across a silent room and Jennifer wiping tears she couldn't hold back any longer. This wasn't reality TV. This wasn't scripted drama. This was real, raw heartbreak unfolding in front of the world. Because what nobody expected, not even Jennifer herself, was that the man she once introduced as the calm in her storm would soon be led away in handcuffs. And the saddest part?
I had to really talk to God. And I had to say, I was like, okay, what am I doing? And please just guide my steps. And one thing I asked for was discernment.
She didn't come to court to watch him win or lose. She came because she needed answers she never got at home. Today, we're breaking down how everything fell apart, how the love story turned into legal chaos, and why Jennifer walked out of that courtroom with trembling hands and quiet tears. Long before the courtroom lights, before the whispers, the filings, the investigators, and the cameras, Jennifer believed she finally found something stable.
I knew a month in that Jennifer was the one. And I told Jennifer when we were dating, I said, I'm not here to waste your time.
After years of public breakups, friendships turning sour, and fame making every part of her life feel like a battlefield, she genuinely wanted peace. She wanted a partner who didn't compete with her shine, didn't use her name for attention, didn't drag her into chaos.
Jennifer brings me so much peace, and that's very important in a relationship, you know, to be able to just come home and it be home, and, you know, not be, because we, especially as Black men, we deal with so much in the world anyway when we wake up, right? So being able to come home and she's just peaceful, and we just know, we get on each other's nerves sometimes, but that's, you know, that's love,
That's
right?
love,
but,
right.
you know, it's amazing. Like, I've never loved this way.
And when she met the man who would one day shatter her trust, he seemed like that person. Soft-spoken, supportive, a listener, someone who didn't chase the spotlight or care about social media clout. Their relationship looked simple from the outside, almost refreshing. She would praise him for being dependable, calling him the balance she needed. He rarely posted, rarely spoke publicly, and when he did appear beside her, he always wore the same gentle smile. Fans actually loved that about him. They said he looked grounded, mature, unbothered by the noise that usually comes with dating someone in the public eye. And behind closed doors, Jennifer thought she finally found a man who didn't want to fight, didn't want drama, and didn't want fame. She let him into her home, her business ideas, her emotional world, and even some parts of her past she rarely opened up about. But here's the twist. Sometimes the quietest people are quiet for a reason, and not always a good one. Small cracks started showing, but at first nobody paid attention, not even Jennifer. Friends noticed how tense he looked at events. He would smile for pictures, but the warmth never reached his eyes. He avoided group conversations, skipped social gatherings, and slowly distanced himself from people who genuinely cared about Jennifer. He didn't like questions, didn't like being asked about work, and definitely didn't like being told no. But instead of anger, he responded with silence, a silence that made people uncomfortable. At the time, it was easy to chalk it up to stress, nerves, or pressure. Dating someone in the public eye can be overwhelming for anyone. But looking back, those early signs were warnings that something much darker was growing behind the scenes. And then came the shift. Jennifer started noticing unusual things: missing documents, unexplained withdrawals, questions about accounts she never opened, and conversations that didn't make sense. He had excuses ready for everything. He always sounded so calm, so rational, that she pushed her doubts aside. Love can make even the smartest people overlook red flags, and she wasn't the first, and definitely won't be the last, to trust someone who didn't deserve her loyalty. But what nobody expected was how fast everything would spiral once the truth started leaking. The moment legal issues surfaced, everything came crashing down. A friend of hers mentioned that his name had been brought up in a financial investigation. A business partner flagged unusual activity. And before Jennifer could fully understand what was happening, she found herself being questioned, not as a suspect, but as someone caught in the middle of something far bigger than a relationship problem. Then, one morning, investigators arrived at her home. They weren't aggressive, they weren't rude, they simply asked questions that made Jennifer's stomach drop, questions about accounts she never touched, questions about transfers she never approved, questions about signatures that looked like hers but weren't hers. And that's when the pieces started coming together. The man she trusted had been using her name, her identity, her financial access, all while acting like the supportive partner she thought she'd found. Everything moved fast from that point. Investigators dug deeper, more documents surfaced, testimonies rolled in, and suddenly, Jennifer's private reality became public drama. Her husband wasn't just accused of lying. He was accused of multiple counts of fraud, identity misuse, falsifying financial records, and forging documents tied directly to her business and personal life. And the worst part? Some of the actions were done while he was living under her roof, eating at her table, and calling himself the man who loved her. The story exploded online before she even had time to breathe. People immediately took sides. Some accused her of knowing everything. Others defended her, saying she had been betrayed by someone who played the long game. But the truth? The truth wasn't something fans could decide. The truth would only come out in court, and that's where the real mess unfolded. Inside the courtroom, the energy was heavy. Jennifer walked in looking composed on the outside, but her eyes told a completely different story. The man sitting across the room, the man she once introduced as her protector, barely looked at her. His lawyer spoke on his behalf while he kept his head down, almost like he was trying to hide from the very person he stole from. The prosecution didn't hold back. They presented bank statements with altered numbers, contracts with forged signatures, and emails where he pretended to be Jennifer. They showed private recordings, text messages with unknown women, and even screenshots that hinted at a complicated double life. He wasn't just lying to Jennifer, he was lying to everyone. As evidence piled up, his calm facade slowly disappeared. He started avoiding eye contact. He shifted in his chair. His hands shook slightly. For the first time, it was clear he wasn't the victim. He was the architect of his own downfall. The judge took everything in quietly. No reactions, no expressions, just long, careful listening. And when the final piece of evidence was presented, a forged contract involving Jennifer's business earnings, the judge's tone changed. The disappointment was obvious, even though their voice stayed professional. When it was time for sentencing, the room fell silent. So silent that even the clicking of a camera felt loud. The judge looked directly at him and spoke plainly. They talked about manipulation, about betrayal, about how he used love as a weapon, trust as a tool, and Jennifer's name as a shield. They talked about how he built a web of lies so big that even he couldn't escape it anymore. And when the judge announced the sentence, years in federal prison, the entire room felt the weight of the moment. That's when Jennifer's tears finally fell. Not dramatically, not for the cameras, quietly, softly. The kind of tears that come not from anger, but from deep exhaustion, from heartbreak, from realizing that the person she loved had been hurting her long before she even knew. She didn't cry because he was being punished. She cried because this was the end of something she once believed in with her whole heart. And endings, even necessary ones, hurt. Cameras caught her wiping her face as he was escorted out of the courtroom. He didn't look back, not once. And maybe that hurt more than the sentence itself. The internet reacted immediately. Some people felt sympathy, calling her a survivor of emotional and financial betrayal. Others questioned how someone as experienced as Jennifer could miss the signs. A few even suggested she must have known something. Because when you live in the public eye, people always think they know your life better than you do. But behind the scenes, the emotional damage was deeper than anyone imagined. Jennifer's home didn't feel safe. Her business felt tainted. Every signature, every message, every bank notification made her feel anxious. She wasn't just dealing with a breakup, she was dealing with something that shook her sense of trust to the core. Her team advised her to stay quiet, to let the legal process speak for itself. She turned off comments. She stopped posting. She stayed close to the people who actually cared about her, not the ones who cared about the story. And slowly, she started picking up the pieces. But what nobody talks about is the emotional aftermath, the silent nights, the questions that keep you awake, the fear of loving again, the guilt of believing the wrong person, the shame of being played by someone you trusted. Jennifer didn't just lose a partner. She lost a version of herself she'll never get back. And yet, there's something powerful about surviving the kind of betrayal that was meant to break you. Something about standing in a courtroom full of noise and walking out stronger than you walked in. Something about wiping your tears and deciding you won't let someone else's lies define your story. Because here's the truth. This chapter might be painful, but it's not the end of Jennifer Williams. Not even close. She's been through public feuds. She's been dragged online. She's been betrayed before, and every time she's found a way to rise again. This time won't be any different. It might take time. It might take silence. It might take therapy, rebuilding trust, and relearning how to breathe in a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. But she will rise. The real question now isn't about him, it's about her. What will she do next? Will she share her side in a raw, emotional interview? Will she open up about the red flags she missed? Will she turn this pain into purpose? Or will she stay silent and let the truth speak for itself? People forget that behind the glam, behind the camera-ready makeup, behind the confident posts, Jennifer is human. She feels, she breaks, she heals. And this story isn't just about crime or betrayal.